Okay. Show me.
Hi there guys, welcome to the Dutch RC channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. And I got me a box again, yes sir, and this time it's from Furibee again, which also means it's from GearBest. And this box contains the DarkMax. Should be a very powerful quadcopter. It can be flown with up to 6S. Ooh, yeah. Now I won't be doing that. I will be flying it on 3S and 4S, and this is a longer term review. By the time you are watching this video, I've had this quadcopter for approximately 1.5 months and at least 20 flights, at least. So I can also tell you if it sustains at least 20 flights. And therefore I will be flying it on 3S, but mostly on 4S. I'll basically be trying it a couple of times on 3S, but after that we'll be flying it on 4S. Now you might have come across videos with this quadcopter flown on 5S and 6S. Yeah, it can. You probably will want to prop down, so use propellers with a shallower pitch. Otherwise your ESCs, yeah, I'm not sure how long they would last. Okay, so let's see what's in this box. Okay, the first thing you come across in the box is 2 sets of genuine Gemfan propellers. So yeah, you could knock on them Chinese companies, clones, cheap stuff. Genuine Gemfan propellers. Excellent. So at least they didn't skimp on the propellers, and you get 2 sets. One full set in black and one full set in transparent. And they are actually not 5-inch propellers, but 5.1-inch propellers. And they have quite a steep pitch of 52. So aggressive propellers. Those should... Actually, these propellers look a little bluish, but okay. Dark propellers and transparent propellers. The next thing in the box is a care package. Let's see what we have here. We've got 2 battery straps, and they are a little narrow, as you can see. And they don't have a rubbery backside to them. So yeah, I'll probably be using, maybe for the action camera these would be fine, but for the battery I'll be using different ones. And you get 4 prop nuts and a couple of screws. At this point I'm not completely sure what those are for. You get a short little rubber ducky, well, not a normal rubber ducky, a linearly polarized antenna, and a bind cable, or a cable to connect your receiver with. However, this is actually a nice thing about the DarkMax. It is available as a bind and fly with DSMX, Spectrum, FrSky, FrSky, and you can get it without a receiver. So that's actually very nice. A wide variety of options, and you get a prop nut wrench for your money. And here is the star of our show, the DarkMax in all its black glory. And yes, it's all black. There are things about this quadcopter that I'm very much impressed with. Then there are a couple of things that I'm impressed with. And are there things I'm not impressed with? Yes, 2 things. Yeah. Okay, positive things first. Yeah, sure. It has genuine DIS motors. Excellent. I'm actually a fan of DIS motors. These are 2205, 2550 kV motors. So 2205 isn't huge. Yeah, current top class racers have bigger motors. But for a basher such as me, I'm not a competition flyer at all. These should provide a good amount of power, and this one feels super duper smooth. Okay, they all feel exactly the same, so that's a good thing. And as you can hopefully see, the wires coming off of the motors running to the ESCs are nicely protected with this mesh, and the end is actually, I'm not sure how they did it, but with a lighter or something, but they won't come apart, so that's nice. And the frame itself is 4mm thick, and it is an all-in-one frame, as you can see. So yeah, if you bust up one arm, you'll be replacing the entire frame basically. But 4mm, you'll have a hard time cracking these arms. It's not impossible, but they should be well durable. And the edges are actually chamfered. They aren't sharp at all. These... Okay, so from the top frame, this part, the edges aren't chamfered. You might want to do that, but the arms are chamfered. So that's nice, and this quadcopter will fly with the battery underneath, and yeah, chamfered. You can actually see a little bit of the sanding marks on the frame. So I actually was expecting to have to do that myself. I don't see any carbon fiber dust at all either. So that looks very, very nice. Now, one other thing I'm very much impressed with is this stack over here. As you can see, only 2 layers. Bottom layer is an integrated PDB and all the ESCs, of course. As mentioned, the ESCs are rated from 3, well maybe 2, but you won't be flying it on 2S of course, but 3S up to 6S. Cool stuff. I might consider this entire stack for my future build as well. Because the flight controller, I'll include a picture of the flight controller, because it's buried into the frame of course. But it's an integrated flight controller and video transmitter. At the other side you've got a couple of buttons for your channel and frequency and output levels. So that's very nice. And it has a separate small little FrSky, in my case, receiver. Cool stuff. Yeah, especially that flight controller with integrated VTX. Cool stuff. Thank you very much. And now that I mentioned that, yeah, 2 things I am not super duper impressed with. The first thing is the placement of this video transmitter antenna over here. I would have very much preferred that to come out from the back. This, yeah, might snag on trees or gates, right? So that's not the best design I've ever seen. Yeah, that's a bit of a shame. And the second thing, let me actually check. Yeah, the camera sticks out from the frame at the front. I'm sure you can see that, but yeah. Okay, so that's not the best of designs. They should have extended the frame a little forward. I'm sure you would agree. However, one other good thing is of course that this doubles as a action camera platform, and you can see the little slit in the frame over here for the strap for your action camera, so that's all good. That looks pretty nice. So yeah, basically so far the only downsides to this quadcopter are the placement of the camera, or the lack of protection for your camera, and the placement of the video transmitter antenna. Other than that, the components look great, well designed or well chosen, and the frame looks and feels of high quality. Yeah, this is well built. I am quite impressed with the frame, and this flight stack I very much like. Okay, so that's all very, very nice, Mr. Dutchessy. How does it fly? Well, we're gonna take it up first with a 3S, and I expect a reasonably laid back quadcopter on 3S. After that we'll try the same thing on 4S with the stock propellers, by the way. And yeah. Oh, and after that we'll also do some FPV flying with it. After all that we'll come back to the studio and I'll give you my final thoughts. I'll tell you if you should consider this quadcopter in my humble opinion or not. And yeah, enough blah blah. Let's get out to the field and fly this puppy. Okay, maiden flight for the Furibee DarkMax on 3S. Let's see if it's a nice quadcopter even on 3S. Here we go. And it flies. It flies. I have to do a little walking because someone put a goal in the middle of the field. Thank you very much. I'll never know why. Okay, apparently it does flips. I'm not sure how well this quadcopter will be visible to you, by the way, it all being black and stuff. It behaves well so far. It is not a powerhouse, expected on 3S. I'm just having a look to see if it's a nice beginner quadcopter. Ah, the punch is actually reasonable. Oh, it's pretty floaty on 3S, so that'll probably be better on 4S. Rolls are nice and smooth. Oh, by the way, my hands are freezing. Not bad. It flies more than decently on 3S. So yeah, with this DarkMax you have a reasonable, well, reasonable, it flies just fine. Beginner quadcopter, or maybe you want to start the day out on 3S, get your fingers warm and stuff, or cold.
2 minutes.
Nothing wrong. Sure, it's not a 4S beast, and again this quadcopter can even fly on 6S. I wouldn't, but 5S would probably be awesome. I don't have any 5S lipos, by the way. And it's, yeah, I'm flying it on the stock propellers, no reason not to, them being Gemfan props. Quite nice. I am, yeah, I'm enjoying the ride. Yeah, it's a little floaty on the 3S. Obviously a 3S is lighter. Well, this is a 1300 3S, and in a minute I'll be flying it on 4S as well, which will also be a 1300. Pretty nice. Okay, apart from my timing not being a bit off on those flips, that's better. Well done, Mr. Dutch RC. Yeah, cool. Flies just fine. I am flying it bone stock, by the way. So with the included receiver, more on that in a minute when we get back to the studio. Well, a few minutes.
10, 9, 8, 7.
Okay, enough. 6, this is just fine. Nothing wrong with this.
2, 1. Timer 1 elapsed.
Cool stuff.
Ignition off.
Not bad. Is it better than I had expected? No, it's about as... it flies better than I had expected. for a cheap gear-based, low cost gear-based quadcopter. Nothing wrong. Okay, that was the 3S flight. I'm gonna stick a 4S onto it and we'll see what that does. Okay, second flight for the Furibee DarkMax. This time on 4S and it's bone stock. Let's see what this looks like. And yes, it instantly feels more lively, which was to be expected. I have to do a little walking because there's a goal on the field for some reason. Ah, look at that. It's still a little floaty, by the way. Well, a little, it's floaty. I'm having a hard time getting it back to me, but there it is. Okay, yeah, so 4S, cool. And again, this quadcopter can also be flown on 5 and 6S, which should make it a real beast. But nothing wrong with 4S on this quadcopter. It sounds very smooth. It might not seem as fast to you because it's actually pretty soundless quiet. But again, it's okay. I have to tune the min throttle down a bit. Looks like this quad likes a little more weight. That's weird. That's especially a weird thing for me to say, because I like light quadcopters, but this can definitely do with a GoPro or any other kind of action camera. Obviously your hang time will be awesome with this quad. And yeah, I haven't FPV flown it yet, but the tune at least doesn't look horrible. It sounds, as mentioned, it sounds very smooth. Not bad. I especially like the electronics in this quad. Cool, man. Yeah. It's definitely a nice quadcopter, this. I'm not sure how visible it'll be to you, it being all black. As you might have noticed, I'm using the transparent propellers at the front and the black at the rear. That helps me out a little in line of sight flying. Obviously it doesn't matter in FPV. Yeah, floaty. I'm having really a hard time keeping it close to the grass here. Cool, successful, and again I'm flying it bone stock, so with the supplied receiver. More on that in a minute. It tracks very well. It seems very well balanced. Cool. Nice, man. Yeah, well behaved quadcopter. What more can I tell you? Not much more. Yeah, I'll get back to the studio in a bit and then I'll give you my closing thoughts on this quadcopter. If all is well, you can also see my DVR recording. Also with the supplied antenna. Cool, man. Yeah, successful. Okay, let's wrap this up.
Ignition off.
Okay, so what more can I tell you about this Furibee DarkMax? Well, I mentioned the receiver a couple of times. I've got the bind and fly version for FrSky, and you can over here hopefully see that puny little receiver antenna, right? So they kinda use the receiver meant for micro quadcopters. I would have very much preferred a receiver with two long antennae, a full range receiver, so to speak. I haven't had issues with it. It flies just fine. I had no dropouts, but yeah, it doesn't really fly comfortably. Confidence inspiring, this. As you can imagine, there are certain angles at which the carbon fiber in the frame will block your signal. Again, I haven't had problems, which is actually a bit surprising. But yeah, I would advise you to get a ready-to-fly version or a plug-and-fly version without this receiver and use another FrSky receiver with two antennae. Okay, so it does fly very well, as you could tell. I very much enjoyed the ride, and the electronic stack in it I very much like as well. Oh, by the way, it's very hard to show you, but this flight controller has an SD card slot for black box logging, so that's all good. It is a bit hard to access, but well, basically after you've inserted it, you don't really need to have access to it, because you can access the files on it via Betaflight from the USB connector over here. So yeah, it's in my opinion a nice package. DIS motors, yeah, I haven't crashed it, but it looks and feels pretty crash resistant. And yes, that camera being exposed, you would of course have to run into a pole straight into the camera, right? Other than that, the arms will protect the camera a bit. But still, yeah, this is a bit of a flaw in its design. But again, yeah, you can, this is a real beast. On the 4S it's a very nice quadcopter, but you can fly it on 5S and you'd have yourself a very fast quadcopter, in my opinion. The camera, it's decent. It's not the best FPV camera I've ever used. In my opinion, it kinda looks like a CMOS camera. So yeah, the specs say CCD camera, but from the looks of it, from the FPV feed I get from it, it's not bad again, but it kinda looks like a CMOS camera. So yeah, there's that. And that's about it. It's a complete package, a quadcopter with OSD, a buzzer, an LED strip. As standard, it has been set up to show you your throttle level, but you can change that out in Betaflight, of course. So, that's my take on the Furibee DarkMax. Pretty nice quadcopter, I really like it. Tell me what you think, of course. If you have questions or suggestions, hit me up a comment down below. There's also a link in the description to this quadcopter if you want to check out the current pricing. For now, I want to thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video. Bye bye.